Hi, my name is Tom Guiler. I'm Assistant Professor of History and Public Humanities at the Winterthur Museum, Garden, and Library outside Wilmington, Delaware. I graduated from Syracuse University in 2016 with a PhD in history. My dissertation was on art colonies, communal groups, in America's arts and crafts movement, including Birdcliff, Roycroft, and Rose Valley. So before I got to grad school, and even during grad school, I always thought I wanted to be a professor. A tenure track job at a small liberal arts school. That was the dream for me. Maybe even to go back to my alma mater, the University of Scranton, and teach American cultural and social history in the 19th and 20th centuries. But as grad school went on, and I realized that there really weren't as many jobs and as plentiful jobs as I had hoped there would be, I started exploring other options. And part of that was spurred on by what I'm surely, no doubt, many of you are dealing with, which is the dreaded two-body problem. In other videos, you may have seen my partner, Giovanna Urist, who's talking about the similar thing. So we decided that whatever happened, we didn't want to live apart. So we decided that, whoever gets the best job first wins. Just so happened that I did. But even before exploring career options, I started to diversify my portfolio, so to speak. I started doing more work in the digital humanities, going to that campus, going to digital humanities summer institutes, trying to broaden my skill set a little bit more. But I think the relationship that really changed my trajectory and the way I thought about the academic career search was I was a New York Council for the Humanities, which is now called Humanities New York. I was one of their public humanities fellows. And that brought a bunch of folks from area PhD programs in New York State together for a year-long fellowship in the public humanities. And it was during that first weekend of orientation that I realized it's not tenure track or bust. There's so many different ways I can use my skills to make positive differences in communities on a local and national level, and not just in the university. But you can do these things while you're in a university, but also on alternative careers in museums, archives, libraries, and really tons of other places. So I started engaging more in the public humanities. I started leading reading and discussion groups in North Syracuse, and actually engaging with my own digital public humanities project called Upstate Historical. Those were the things that showed me, wow, they have so many more different skills than just research and writing. And there are people just like me who were on the tenure track or decided to get off the tenure track that had really rewarding and fulfilling jobs. And I felt like these folks that I met through New York Humanities and just through the network of people in the graduate school at SU and in the Humanities Center in general that had fulfilling lives and awesome careers, I wanted to be just like them. So how did I get my current job? That's the million-dollar question, right? I got my job at Winterthur. I got my foot in the door because I was a research fellow at Winterthur in 2013 writing my dissertation. I got a feel for the institution, and I was lucky enough to be asked to apply for the job. But that's not a guarantee, right? So how did I get my job? I think it goes back to those skills I learned in graduate school. Writing for public audiences, developing project management skills, which includes grant writing and budget making. It means being able to write to different audiences and engage people in different ways, whether that be objects or the written word or even podcasts or video series, kind of like this one. So I think what helped me get that job was one is developing those relationships and networking, not only in terms of like cocktail parties or conferences, but also at your research institutions and your research sites, connecting with people and letting them know what you're all about. Then building sort of a bigger portfolio of skills that aren't just maybe books and articles, but things that you can speak to a wider array of people and projects and issues was another thing that was really important. So I think the project management aspect of my public history site, Upstate Historical, which tags historic sites with audio, video, and photographic stories of places in upstate New York and the people that live there was a big selling point for the folks at Winterthur. I was also a known entity, which was helpful as well. A little bit about my job as how I use my humanities training is I have three main roles at Winterthur. The first one is I'm a professor in the Winterthur program in American Material Culture, which is the oldest graduate program dealing with material culture studies in the United States. It's a joint partnership with the University of Delaware, so I'm also an affiliated professor there. I teach classes in public humanities. I teach field studies where we go all over the country to different museums, historic sites, and learning about different things. So that's a lot of project management and putting together these week-long, sometimes 2-week-long trips. I also teach classes in my specialty still, American Communal Utopias. I teach some digital humanities stuff, as well as Introduction to Decorative Arts and Material Culture. My second big thing about my job is I manage our research fellowship program. And maybe that's the most rewarding part of my job because I can give back to the people I was, right? And making their experiences meaningful. And as I say, helping them find everything from the one book on their topic to a museum object to helping them with the coffee maker that doesn't fit, doesn't work quite properly. And the third thing I do is I am a staff reader for Winterthur's in-house academic publication, Winterthur Portfolio. So I read manuscripts, I help vet reviewers, find book reviewers, all that kind of stuff. And every day I'm using my humanistic training, right? I'm using my reading and writing skills because I'm still publishing, writing for academic audiences as well as blogs, newspapers, etc. Using my teaching ability, right? My ability to talk to different people in the classroom, but also to the general public at Winterthur. People have questions about objects, public programs, show and tells, all those things I'm still doing. But also I'm using some of the chops that I learned when I was on the academic job market. Namely, that's my training in digital humanities and project management skills, budgeting, grant writing, the fundamental things that we do as humanists that be able to take information, research deeply, pull back and find out why it matters and synthesize that information is stuff I do every single day. It's like breathing. My work life is rewarding, as kind of I said. It's helpful to help other people. I can do all the things I really love to do. I can still research and write. I interact with really smart people that come through Winterthur's doors every day. I can dip into academic publishing, but I also have more opportunities than ever to sort of flex my humanities muscles. I'm currently helping to stage an exhibit. I'm in charge of the annual Historic Autos Car Show, along with my boss at Winterthur. I organize field studies. I design my own courses. I do one-off lectures for public audiences in places around the region. I think the most rewarding thing, though, is that every day I can learn something new. And I think that's what the humanities is all about. Every day I walk into Winterthur, I learn from someone, from something, or be inspired by just the general landscape. I'd be thrilled to talk to any of you about any of these things, but I'm especially happy to talk to people about the public humanities, digital humanities skills, working in museums, grant writing, project management, how to make yourself more attractive on the academic job market, interviewing, any sort of things in the nonprofit, museum, cultural heritage sphere. I'm super happy to talk to you guys about, and I hope you do soon. Thank you and take care.